What I'm about to show you is a sitting congressman naming a billionaire Republican donor on live television in connection to the Jeffrey Epstein Black Book. That billionaire immediately denied. Survivors spoke out for the first time, and the political establishment is pushing back hard. I'm going to play you a few clips that are actual clips from the scene, the denials, and let you see what's really happening. So first, here's Thomas Massie on Newsmax being pressed to name somebody on Epstein's Black Book list that could be implicated. Somebody that could be thrown to the wolves, if you will.
The reason those survivors showed up at my press conference to support my bill is it does have protections for them. And so that's one of the mistruths that's been stated about my bill. Look, I support Jamie Comer's efforts. He's one of my best friends up here. He's from Kentucky. I used to serve on the oversight committee. And I talked to him this morning. I showed him that all the flight logs that the DOJ has given him that's in that 34,000 document dump, all of them are redacted. Like, the DOJ is curating, they're not just redacting, they're choosing what to send the Oversight Committee. But generally, I support what the Oversight Committee is doing. The more eyeballs we have on this, the better. And I'm glad they're doing it, and I'm glad they're doing other things. But what's not true is that his effort and my effort are redundant, because his effort is mostly focused at the DOJ to see if they dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's and checked all the boxes when they did their investigation. I don't anticipate, and I'm not sure that he does either, although you should get him on and ask him, whether there will be any criminal referrals even from that Oversight Committee investigation. But I'm glad he's doing it. Here's the problem. The DOJ is picking and choosing, and my bill doesn't allow them to do that. My bill has exceptions for victims' identifiable information, but it doesn't allow them to redact things that they think might be embarrassing to billionaire donors. But that's exactly what the DOJ is doing right now. The name of one of the billionaires who's running $2 million of ads in my district since I started this effort. His name is Jon Paulson. He's a hedge fund manager and a major donor to the Republican Party, a major donor to the Speaker of the House, a major donor to the president's campaign, and he's in Epstein's Black Book. Now, that's public, but that's indicative of the types of people who may be implicated or just embarrassed by a complete release of these files.
After Massie does that conference, Jon Paulson, the person, by the way, who did the big short, okay, the person who shorted the market back in 2008, 2007, all that, the housing crash, that person is in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. Now, is that made public already? Sure. Now, is that made public that he's a rival trying to suppress Thomas Massie, keeping him from making any political statement in a big way by keeping them from getting into office, by targeting him with campaign funds in the millions of dollars? Check out one of my most recent videos. I'll put at the end screen playlist that shows the implementation of money of AIPAC and pro-Israel lobbies spending and attributing over $100 million to campaigning against people who do not support pro-Israel lobby. So Thomas Massie speaking to reporters after the survivors press conference, explaining the pressure campaign against him. Let's see what he says about the ads being run against him and who's been targeting him, which is in reference about Jon Paulson.
Thomas Massie, what's some of the kickback you're getting back from your colleagues? What are some reasons why they don't want to endorse this?
Not right now.
They're being threatened. I mean, look, I've got $2 million of ads running against me back in my district, and it's funded by 3 billionaires. One of them's in Epstein's Black Book. I mean, this is what happens. Your consultants, your political consultants will abandon you when the White House gets mad at you. The Speaker will block all of your bills. They'll shut down your fundraising. This isn't political, but it is. I mean, the opposition to this is very political.
So Representative Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna, both congressmen, being interviewed by CNN together after the survivors press conference on September 3rd, 2025. Now, they're defending their bill. That's what you have to understand. Their bill explains the Epstein Files Transparency Act. They co-sponsored this act. Now, they're pushing back against Speaker Johnson, calling it inartfully drafted. Massie says Johnson's placebo resolution literally copied 3 pages from their bill. This is the nuclear option. If the DOJ will not release the full Epstein files, they will continuously implement constitutional immunity. Survivors can compile their own list of names. Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene will read those names on the House floor, so survivors cannot be sued. That is the main reason why Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene are getting involved in this circumstance. Khanna supports this as a backup plan. However, Massie details that $2.5 million in attack ads have been used against him just in this quarter. Claims also have been made that White House pressure on other Republicans have been not to sign this bill that Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene have put forward. They also say that one of the 3 billionaire donors funding ads is in Epstein's black book. So in case you want to know what this bill needs in order to pass, it needs 218 signatures to force a House vote, have 216, all Democrats, and they need 4 Republicans to also sign the petition. They need just 2 more Republicans to bypass leadership, and Massie says he's very confident that they're gonna get there. Let's see what they say on CNN. You don't want to miss this. Let's get right into it.
The co-authors of the petition that the president and speaker are not calling for its passage, Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna of California and Republican Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky. And thank you both for being here. Congressman Massie, let me start with you, because obviously you've been the focus of the White House's hire, as you are well aware. But when you hear those women today on Capitol Hill, and then you hear what the president has to say, who do you think has more sway with your Republican colleagues? Those women or the president?
Well, with my Republican constituents, those women have the most credibility, and I think it's disrespectful to call it a hoax. This is not a hoax, not at all, and it's not going to go away. If the president wants to highlight the things that he's trying to do in the White House, then he should just call for the vote and release all of these files, and then he can move on. But they want to drag this out.
Congressman Khanna, just on those women for a moment. I mean, that was such a striking show of force from all of them today. What was it like for you to hear from them?
You know, I was just moved on a human level. It really, for me, was totally not about politics. I was standing a few feet away from them while they were speaking out. Almost half of them were in tears. They were talking about being raped at the age of 13 or 14. They were talking about being forced to get other high school and junior high school friends of theirs, knowing that they were going to face sexual assault. It was heartbreaking. And frankly, they are bringing this country together. They are bringing people, whether they're progressive, independents, moderates, MAGA supporters, together to say, we need to release these files. We need justice for the rich and powerful men who abuse them. And this is not about politics. This is about morality.
Congressman Massie, why do you think those stories, I mean, they don't seem to be, but why do you think that they're not resonating with the White House?
Well, they're resonating with the public in my district and all across the country. And in fact, they were resonating in the White House 9 months ago when the Attorney General said they would release the files, when the Vice President said they would release the files, when the FBI Director said they would release the files, when Trump's own children said that these files needed to be released. Why the 180-degree turn here from the administration? I think there are rich and powerful people who've always been beyond the reach of the law, or thought that they were, who want to remain there. And they're donors. They are donors to Republicans and Democrats. And we need to tell them, I'm sorry, you are going to be accountable to the law.
Well, actually, Congressman Massie, can I ask you about that? Because you're talking about people who don't maybe want their names out there associated with Jeffrey Epstein. These women today, one thing that they said that they are willing to do if these documents don't get released is compile their own.
So now that you've seen Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna speak on CNN, talk on Newsmax, we're ready to see how everybody pulls it together. And I love the way that the Young Turks are fans of the PBD podcast, because honestly, I love them too. I know everyone's not a huge fan of them, but I think that PBD has some great conversations. They are really coming around to our side. The Young Turks are truly pushing an America First agenda, and you've got to give them credit, because there's not a lot of people pushing as hard as they are for the things that they believe in. So shout out to them, the Young Turks, Cenk and Anna. You guys are doing great work. And PBD podcast is Vinny. Everybody, I love it. This is what America First really looks like. Let me know if you agree down below.
What a fascinating turn of events.
This is crazy.
Pam Bondi, you lied to us.
Exactly.
You're the attorney general. You're the highest law enforcement. You think we're stupid? So obviously, to me, my opinion, that means the people that are involved are still hovering and circling around like vultures going, don't do that, better not do that. He's on this. We have a relationship with this. It drives me bananas.
Just in case you missed that, our federal government, and specifically Attorney General Pam Bondi,
straight up lied. She straight up lied. There's, in my opinion, and that's alleged, but my opinion is there's no way that she's going to sit there and believe that they just told her that. Because the only thing that she can come out and say is that that's what they told her, this is what they delivered us, and then we had to pry more and they gave us more. That's the only other explanation I can imagine.
If you think that there's any other explanation she could possibly put forward, put it in the comments down below. I want to know what you think.
Yeah, our president, Donald Trump, is actually one of those, guys basically telling members of Congress it is a hostile act to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. So Vinny Oshana from the PBD podcast is not holding back, and I love to see it. He's continuing to call out the Trump administration for their obvious cover-up of the Epstein scandal, which Donald Trump again has repeatedly dismissed and has referred to as a Democrat hoax. Now, the conversation stemmed from the Epstein jail security footage, which you'll remember initially when they released it, mysteriously had about 3 minutes missing from it. And this is when they released it back in July. Well, it turns out that the missing minute of footage at 11:59 p.m. the night Epstein died was actually not missing at all. It was released as part of the files made public by Congress this week, undercutting a claim that Pam Bondi had made. Pam Bondi made a really interesting claim, and now I'm really wondering what's her new explanation, because she claimed that there was a minute missing for this reason. Take a look.
There was a minute that was off the counter, and what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
It's amazing how effortlessly they lie to the American people. Just make something up. Like, she literally just made that up. Obviously, she made that up because there wasn't a missing minute. They just released the full video. Why did you lie? And why was that? More importantly, like, why was that minute missing initially?
And then it turns out it wasn't a minute.
It was 3 minutes.
Yeah, and then it turns out there's a guy in the video that is super curious.
Yeah, and honestly, the fact that they cut that out now makes me wonder what's up with that dude. Like, who's that guy? Is there an issue with that guy? Like, everything that they have done. Look, there are so many Americans who didn't think that there was some conspiracy, who thought anyone else who treated the Jeffrey Epstein story as some big conspiracy were lunatics. Those people are now convinced there's a big conspiracy for obvious reasons.
The only people not convinced is mainstream media, because every article still refers to it as a conspiracy theory that maybe they didn't release the right tape, that the Epstein client list is being covered up. How is that a conspiracy theory? The women told you, yeah, there was many other men involved, and the government won't give you their names, let alone prosecute
them.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to prosecute child rapists.
The only thing
that's
that
not
would
that
make
complicated.
Sense, the only thing that would make sense in regard to prosecutors refusing to prosecute the co-conspirators, the other individuals who were literally preying on minors, is that they were Israeli and they allowed them to fly back to Israel. How's Tom Alexandrovich doing?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, but look, let me just real quick off that, right? So, look, guys, there's a lot of reasons why you should be mad about the Epstein case. You know, all those women, those girls who suffered it, and it's super obvious, right? And then all of these distractions. I mean, that's not even the right video. The video that makes a difference is the one in the hallway. And they're like, oh, that hallway video that was in front of Epstein's cell is not working. Golly gee, we do not have that video. No, it's not. Come on, the conspiracy is that he hung himself and that there are no other clients. That's ludicrous. But I just want to make a really important point overall here. This isn't just about Epstein. This is about, do you trust the government or do you not? Does the government work for you or does it work for someone else?
Someone else.
Right, and that's why when people try to minimize this, and to Anna's point, it's weirdly constantly people who support Israel that are trying to minimize the Epstein files. They're accidentally telling on themselves. I mean, I did a post today about Ro Khanna, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Tom Massie. It's part of the story we're gonna get back to in a second. They did a press conference, obviously, with the Epstein survivors yesterday. And then a guy writes in, a usual one of the Israeli bots and trolls. Again, I don't know it for sure, but he's the guy. He's one of the guys that's always in my mentions that said always defending Israel over the top. And he's like, oh yeah, just because you want to blame Israel. I'm like, brother, I didn't say anything about Israel in the tweet.
Oh, I love it so much.
Okay,
I love it so much. I really do. And by the way, yeah, if there's evidence in those files indicating that a foreign government, whether it's Israel, whether it's Venezuela, whether it's Turkey, whether it's Armenia, whether it's Mexico, I don't care. Okay, I want to live in a sovereign country knowing that our politicians and powerful people in our country, including the donors to our politicians who control our politicians, aren't being blackmailed by a foreign country that has its own self-interest through American foreign policy. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you want to live in a sovereign country or not?
So that's why, guys, when you see people minimizing and saying, oh, what's the big deal about this Epstein thing, right? They're trying to distract you because it's not like the rape already would be enormous because hundreds, maybe over 1,000 girls were raped, right? That's already like catastrophic and gigantic, right? But that's, the bigger issue is, are we in control of our government or aren't we? There is no larger issue than that. And so it doesn't have to be Israel, guys. We don't know. It could be the CIA, but if the CIA is doing this, we should know. Our own CIA doing this, we should know. But no matter how you slice it, there's no question that there were hundreds of men involved and none of them have been prosecuted and none of them have been named. Our government is protecting the guilty. We have every right to know why, and that is not a little question. That is a central question. Do we have representative democracy or do we not?
Yeah, okay, so let's get back to the video that was just released. So not much can be garnered from that minute of footage, although you do see what looks like a prison guard maybe walking around the area near Epstein's jail cell. And then the video released by Congress is also missing metadata, which would help confirm whether or not it's the raw report or the raw video. And here's the PBD crew like watching the newly released video in real time and Vinny's response to it.
Look for the movement all the way in the back, top left corner. You see something moving back there? Okay, so this is the clip that they didn't release.
This isn't a ghost, Pat? This isn't a ghost, right?
No,
oh, okay. Just want to make sure it's not an apparition.
Keep watching what happens
That's a big
here.
word, Vinny. Thank you.
Right there, who's that person?
What? Oh, he's wearing all black. Oh, weird. Who's that?
Nobody knows.
Huh?
Nobody knows what happened there.
You just showed a video. So wait, that means Pam Bondi, you lied to us.
Exactly.
You're the Attorney General. You're the highest law enforcement.
That's what I'm
Pam Bondi.
Blondie.
Oh yeah, my bad. And it's like, what are you? And Pat, I love that you said that. What? You think we're stupid? You think we're not? You think the nerds that are out there are gonna take that video, put in AI, and say you guys are freaking lying?
And he did also give props to individuals in this country who are trying to fight to get some transparency. So let's take a quick look at that.
Because remember, Henry Anton, the number, nobody cares about Epstein. Who cares? Who cares? No. I'm so proud of Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna from different sides of the aisle, not letting this die out.
By the way, Thomas Massie, I hope, has some security around him because he was just on Newsmax. Massie says, let me give you the name of one of the billionaires, Jon Paulson. He's a major donor to the Republican Party, a major donor to the Speaker of the House, and a major donor to the president's campaign. I don't know if he's starting to name names already.
Wow, he said that Jon Paulson was on the Epstein list?
I mean, he's on Newsmax and he's naming names.
That is a significant development. Okay, so because now you're touching power. Because the donors are the actual power, the politicians are just.
He's in Epstein's black book.
Okay, he said it. Okay, so now it's going to be war. So this is super interesting. And guys, what a fascinating turn of events.
This is crazy.
So I'm going to show you a video from yesterday's press conference real quick here. Ro Khanna, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's take a quick look.
I actually think they're helping us come together as a country. Yes. I've never done a press conference with Marjorie Taylor Greene before. I've done some with Tufts, but look, this country is divided and exhausted. This is one thing that we can come together on. Now I want to introduce Marjorie Taylor Greene. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was kind of an awesome moment. I know that a lot of people will look at that and go, oh, boo, I can't believe you guys are coming together. No, we should be divided and hate each other, even on issues we agree on. No, I love that. That was maybe the first true visual of bipartisanship I've ever seen in my life. There's a lot of fake bipartisanship.
Totally.
What corporate media calls bipartisanship. Oh, corporate Democrats and corporate Republicans have agreed to another set of giant tax cuts for their own donors. Yeah, I'm not interested in that bipartisanship. That's the American people from the left and the right sending in their champions and going, fight the establishment. Mm-hmm. We don't believe them. We think they're lying to us and we want you to fight them. Now notice there's only 3 congressmen there. There's 535 members of Congress. Why aren't they all there supporting Epstein's victims? But they're not. There's only 3 who are willing to do this, and I think that number should be way larger. And so the fact that the voters are beginning to unite against the establishment. I mean, look, I've been waiting my whole life for that. So there's a silver lining in this otherwise disastrous story that we're all beginning to wake up together and going, I don't think the media and the politicians are being honest with us. And I love that we've got the people's champions in there, and Ro Khanna from our side has done a brilliant job. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.
Gotta give credit where credit is due. Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ro Khanna, there's so many people that are coming out now and risking everything. They're risking everything, putting it all on the line to try to help these people have a voice, not get sued, and bring out the truth. I really can't believe we've gotten to this point. I really hope that they don't have to make their own list. If you think that's outrageous, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you all for your support. It's been such an amazing journey so far. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and
yeah. They call me Danks on lock.